Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Master Division with the qualifying round win here for the fall major tournament in Golf Clash the game. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. You can get the ultimate tournament guide for Pro, Expert and Master by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link to our guides and Patreon is directly in the description down below. Follow the info box on the right hand side to get the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also a ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. Hole number 1, and we're gonna start with what it looks like a pretty easy par 4, but this is not an easy one, but it's definitely gonna be a possible drop. A blue ring by the rough line with a pocket 8, 1/3 of the blue ring, sorry, 1/5 of the blue ring inside the rough with a pocket 7, and half of the blue ring inside the rough with a pocket 5 and 6. 6 top spin, 2 left spin, adjustment is max plus 10, power 3 ball numbers. Even if we play with a power 5, we play power 3. Max overpower with slow needle and 1 ball curl to the left. What we want here is that we want wind between 10 and 11 miles per hour to be ultimate. And the reason for that is that that wind is going to push the ball to be around 410 plus. Sorry, 430 plus obviously that we want. We do want to be somewhere between 425 and 440 when it comes to our yardage. Second shot, now you need to be quick. Do a pin check and you can see here that we do have plus 2. Our base is plus 2, which equals 57% slider and 25% elevation, power 5. Now, top of the white ring by the fringe, and then we're gonna add backspin to get the ball guideline to be pointing just left of the cup, right? So, now when it comes to making our pull angle here, we do want to favor 1159 with our pull and pull twice over bullseye. So for an example, if I should be playing 14 rings, I adjust 7 rings and then I adjust 7 rings again to make sure that I'm pulling twice over bullseye. Center the ball, hit perfect, and this is going to be a good chance to start with an eagle on this tough course of the Waterfield Sands. Rolls nicely, get that ball right at pin for a beautiful eagle here. So hole number 1 offers a good chance, but I would say it looks easier than what it is. Hole number 2 is absolutely money, but there is one thing we need to pay close attention to because that could cause us to miss this one. But we're gonna start with 2 top spin, 4 left spin, red ring by the sand trap line, top of the yellow ring by the rough line, ball guideline to the hole. It can't really be much simpler than that in my opinion. Now, in this angle, we're not gonna use any curl whatsoever in my opinion. And what we're looking for here now is to not have any 12-01, right? No 12-01, and also, most especially, when you are centering the ball, make sure you have no overpower. I'd rather want you to have a little bit of underpower, if anything, especially if you're struggling center the ball properly. Because overpower, what will happen then, is that you will have the first bounce too far up into the rough, and you have that potential risk that you stay up on that fringe. Because we are going to play close to that fringe, and we want the ball to fall back down and roll into the hole, catching that funnel. But based on the hole shots and the feedback, this shot has been absolutely money, and I would strongly advise you to play this shot for a good success on hole number 2. Adjustment is max plus 20, power 2 ball numbers to have said as well. Hole number 3 is going to be a very, very tough hole to get an eagle at. We're not looking for an albatross at all. So first, you're going to start with a no movement position, right? So you're not going to touch the target until it's time to adjust the rings. Once you do adjust, you're only going to do that for power hook rings. So for Apocalypse level 8, you shall adjust 23 rings. Apocalypse level 7, 21 rings. And Apocalypse level 5 and level 6. We're gonna adjust 19 rings. With a luminary, we want you to play with 6.5 bar top spin and 2 left spin. With a wind 4 ball, such as a Ryder Cup ball, Megalodon, or something like that, we do want you to play with 6 top spin and 1 left spin. And the reason for the difference in topspin is due to the fact that you have less wind with a wind 4 ball. Kind of makes sense, you know, when you're thinking about it. So, second shot, pack the club that give you the most distance. And now it's important to give the right position here at the start. Look for the second bounce before you add spin, right? So before you add spin, you want the ball guideline to look like it is. The second bounce like that. Then we're gonna add 8 top spin, 2 left spin, which is gonna be... We're gonna talk about the lower levels in a bit. After that, we adjust max plus 10. And from there, with Cataclysm level 8, we shall adjust 26 rings for yet another power hook. But have in mind though, if you don't feel comfortable with the power hook here for the second shot, you can go with a regular curl shot instead. The difference it's gonna be is that if you go with a power hook like we're doing here in the video, you will get the ball to be very, very close to the green. Which with a curl shot you will have somewhat a 60% wedge. You can see there that I didn't use a maximum overpower with my power hook, and the thing that I would like you to have in mind there is that you should use the overpower that you adjust into when you make your max plus 10. So when you adjust your max plus 10 P5 for the first adjust before you do the power hook rings. Let's say you adjust 2 rings into overpower. Then you shall use 3 rings of overpower when you do your power hook. Obviously this is all explained in the guide. Might be very difficult when you're hearing it here, but that's something you will have to have in mind when doing that power hook so you don't go too far. Very tough hole on hole number 3. Hole number 4 is the toughest of the par 3s in my opinion, and we're gonna here play with the white ring completely inside the rough and then the yellow ring by the sand trap line. Look at the ball guideline, meaning the second bounce. You can see it's centered into the dark green square realm. From here we're gonna play 5 bars of backspin and 1.5 bar of left spin. So we set that one up and then we will adjust, and we're gonna adjust for max plus 20 power 3 ball settings. Once we do have adjusted, we need to obviously pay attention to the wind angle. In this angle here, we're not going to use, in my opinion, any type of curl. More left of that, we need to use right curl, and more right of that, we need to use left curl. Just a couple of tiny clicks, that's the only thing that we're looking for. Perfect ball, and the ball bounces on the fairway, and then up onto the green, and then slows down, and coming in with a nice speed here for hole in one on hole number 4. Again, the toughest of the par 3s in my opinion, and I believe if anyone is going to miss a par 3, it's going to be hole number 4. Hole number 5, we'll see 2 options, one conservative and one aggressive. We start with the rock, and we're gonna start with rock level 9 at the top of plus 11. Rock level 8 start at the top of plus 12. Red ring by the rough line, max backspin, 2 right spin, and then we shall adjust for max and no elevation power 5 ball settings. The reason we do play with rock here is due to its accuracy, but also its power. But the accuracy alone is worth it, because this will make a great right be very safe, a great left be very safe, whereof playing with an Apocalypse level 5 or level 6 will not be safe with a great ball. Outside wall, right curl, and the idea is to get the ball up to 290. Getting to 290, that yardage is actually very important. Why, you may ask? It's because that yardage relates to an overpower amount that we're gonna use with our Guardian on the second shot. So first, add all backspin, 1 left spin. So all the backspin you can and 1 left spin. Stretch out to max and see the ball guideline to be towards the pin, but I would say more towards the right of the pin with the bullseye. Once that is done, you release, you adjust max plus 15. Have in mind that I adjust max plus 10 in the video, so therefore you will see me being a little bit more to the right than what I was wanted. So adjust max plus 15, push up to max, And then from 290 yards on the drive, we go with 4 rings of overpower. If you feel uncomfortable with measuring the rings of overpower, you will rather should go with more than with less, because using the Guardian, the idea with that is to give us control with all the backspin. So even if we go a little bit longer than what we want to, then the backspin will help us to stay on the green for still a simple putt for an eagle. For those of you that do want to play aggressive, pay close attention to the shot that come here, but again, it's an aggressive one, and it's nothing wrong in the qualifying round to settle for just an eagle. For the more aggressive approach, you need to have an Apocalypse level 7 or level 8. Bullseye by the rough line at complete max. And we're gonna use max topspin with Apoc 7. Don't use full topspin on Apoc 8, so let's voice it like this. 8 bars of topspin, 1 left spin. Adjustment is gonna be max plus 20. I want you to pay close attention to your pull angle here, because you don't want to have a big 1159 or a 12-1 that will all affect the outcome. After the adjustment, we push up 0.8 rings with Apocalypse level 7, 1 ring with Apocalypse level 8. Then we're gonna play this shot without any overpower or curl. Hit perfect. A great left and a great right seems to be safe. A great left more than great right. But the thing that could happen, especially with a great right, is that you bounce on the fairway first, but you won't go into the water, strangely enough. You will roll into the sand that is after the island. 383 yards is a good yardage, and that's something we will remember. But have in mind that the drive is obviously very aggressive, and if you do something that is a big mistake, that obviously could cause the water being in play. Second shot, we're gonna do a fringe check here. So we're gonna move up, so the bullseye is just by the start of the fringe, start of the first part of the frame, plus 16, have that in mind. So now we're gonna play with 1 right spin, and we're gonna play 4.3 bars of top spin. You can see here that I'm not using the right spin at start, and then I don't get the ball guideline. So make sure to add the ball guideline. Then you move, so you have the red ring by the rough line, ball guideline to be going 1 green square left of hole. That's your position. Now, have in mind, plus 16 is our base. So plus 16 should equal 60% slider, plus 10% elevation, power 5 ball settings. That's going to be 2 decimals less than what I adjust here in the video, because I adjusted a little bit too much. And you will see me roll just left of the cup. So again, the base is plus 16, 60% slider, plus 10% elevation, power 5 ball settings. And I mean, again, it's a very aggressive approach. And I'm not sitting here saying that this is gonna drop all the time, but if you do the correct and follow the number that I gave you now instead of the number that I did in the video, I believe this is actually a pretty decent chance for an albatross. Hole number 6, we're gonna play a no movement, but with a little twist. We're gonna start with a power 3 ball, whatever power 3 ball you may have. Then you do a ball swap to a power 5, preferably a win 4 power 5 or a win 5 power 5 if possible. But a luminary has been tested, and luminary will work as well. Adjust is max plus a 30 power 4 ball settings. Once you have done that, you shall apply max overpower and full curl to the right. I'm using 6 bars of topspin and half a bar of side spin to the right. A pretty decent great left, but a great left is better than a great right here, which is obviously good. And we get ourselves to be a little bit more on the left side of the fairway, but still fine. 410 and better is what we're looking for as yardage. Second shot, we are going to then do a fringe check. So we're gonna go and move up and look for the top of the, by the fringe where it meets the green, is easier to say. 1 right spin, and we're gonna play 4.8 bars of top spin. Very important here now that you do have the ball guideline through the hole with the blue ring by the rough line. Okay, so now we did have the fringe check, so which had a plus 7, which is now we have a base that is plus 1. Plus 1 fringe check equals mid distance, so 50% slider plus 10. So in this instance, we shall play 50% slider and adding 0.6, because the difference between 1 and 7 is 6. So Adjustment is done with 2 pulls over the bullseye. Perfect ball. Mounts into the rough. And we love the speed here to fall down. And we get this ball to drop for a lovely little eagle. And to have that said, I'm adjusting 0.1 less than what I should in the video. And this plus 1 base is a tweak base of that. Hole number 6 offers a good chance for an eagle. Hole number 7, we do have a very good shot for you all. So start with the red ring by the sand trap line to be just into +1 yard mark. And here we're gonna play with 4 left spin and 1.5 bar backspin always. So in this angle here, we're not gonna use any curl. Have that in mind. So no wind angle tweak for this angle. Max +20, power 0 ball numbers is what we are adjusting. Centered ball, hit, perfect. If having wind angle that is more right of what we do have in the video, you need to add left curl. If you do have an angle that is more left of the angle we have in the video, you need to use a little bit of right curl. This to get the ball to come in as we would like every single time. Bounce on the fairway and then down towards the green and catch this nice little slope right at pin for a beautiful hole-in-one. This has shown to be money. And that I'm very pleased with, because again, it's not an easy par 3. Hole number 8, you will find me showing you 2 options, one where we're gonna lay up and one where we're gonna YOLO! So max +10 when it comes to our adjustment here, power 3. I'm playing with an Easter Classic ball, which is a power 3, top spin boost 3, wind 3. So I would say a top spin boost 3 ball is the ball that we're looking for here. Doesn't really matter if we do have a wind 4, wind 2 or wind 3 ball. Adjust max +10, white ring by the rough line. After that, we're gonna push up 3.5 rings with Apocalypse level 8 and 3.2 rings on Apoc 7, 2.8 rings with Apocalypse level 5 and 6. Bounce on the fairway, on the next fairway, into the rough and roll out. We're looking to be around 420 yards, which would be ultimately. Apoc 5 and Apoc 6 topspin has tested to be working, but obviously it's a little bit risky to get stuck into that rough because of the left topspin. But at the same time though, it's still gonna be a safe, very safe birdie from there. Now, put your target up into absolute max distance with the B52 preferably, which is gonna be +9. Now, we're gonna add topspin or backspin to get the ball guideline to be 3 green squares short of pin. So here you need to somewhat be quick, because otherwise it's very easy to fall short in time. 3 green squares short of pin, there we do have it. Now we're gonna adjust max +15. Power 3 ball settings with pulling over the bullseye twice. And I'm gonna say that again. Let's say that we should adjust, for the example's sake, 15 rings, okay? Then we adjust 8 rings, and then we do adjust 7 rings. So we pull twice over the bullseye to get the correct amount of decimals. Now, center the ball, hit perfect. At least that's what I'm aiming to do. And with a perfect ball here, this is definitely, in my opinion, a good chance for a drop. Bounce on the fairway and it rolls up. Absolutely lovely, right up pin for a beautiful eagle here. For those of you that do want to send it, because I'm leaning towards sending myself actually, pay close attention to the option that comes here. So for the send it option, start by checking the wind angle from no movement like this. And this is what we do judge as a tailwind. We do want to have wind between 16 and 18. Talk more about that. Stretch out to max to have the ball guideline going over that small bush that is just right of that tree. Now, when it comes to tailwind angle, we're gonna adjust 1:1 plus 0.5 from a 16 mile per hour base. So our base is 16 miles per hour, and then we shall adjust 2.5 rings here for the tailwind angle. You see I'm using slightly more, not me, but my buddy here is using slightly more than 5 top spin and 1 bar of right spin. Slicing this one, and you can see here that the ball bounce on the fairway. And it bounds on the fairway and get up to around green. It is an insane shot, honestly. And this is going to be a super simple one for an eagle. Have in mind, there is obviously a lot of parts that you can dial in and design here. But the thing that I would like you to have in mind, that you can just mirror the position and just yell YOLO and just go for it. But obviously the consistency won't really be there. I'm not saying that this ball is going to be on green all the time, even if you follow everything to the letter, because with send it shots, there's always some sort of inconsistency with the shot. But this is a really fun shot and a very interesting one to simplify getting the eagle on a tough par 4 like hole number 8. Hole number 9, we're gonna play another no movement, so don't touch the target until it's time to adjust the rings. And here we're gonna play with 7 topspin, 1 left spin, and you're gonna play with either a wind 5 power 5, wind 4 power 5, or wind 3 power 5. All ball combinations like that will work, but we obviously recommend a wind 5 to reduce the wind on drive, so you don't have to use any overpower, and that's the same on the second shot. So here, the structure, right? Adjust max plus 10 power 5. 1 ball of curl to the left with Apocalypse 6, 7, and 8, no overpower. Apocalypse level 5, adjust whatever you adjust into as overpower. So if you adjust 1 ring into, you use 1 ring. Then when you do play with a win 4 or a win 3, you obviously need to increase the overpower a little bit, otherwise you would fall short. When it comes to the second shot, we're gonna play with our sniper. Unfortunately, there isn't really a way to get into B52 range, which was my goal from the beginning. Pin check plus 15. Our base here is plus 7. So if we do have a pin check that is plus 7, then we shall be playing minimum distance and no elevation, power 5 ball settings. So we set our app at that. That's kind of what we want. We add 1.3 top spin, 1 right spin, ball guideline to go 2 green squares through the hole, very important. And then we shall adjust the rings. Here in the video, I adjust 0.1 too little than what I want to do. And that's why I'm saying plus 7 is the base. So for an example, we had a plus 15 pin check. So when with plus 7 as a base, you will then play minimum distance, no elevation, and adding 0.8, because the difference between 7 and 15 is 0.8, or it's 8, so 0.8. Getting a swirly in, but again, I was only adding 0.7 to that shot, so we needed that little extra to get that albatross to be more dead center. In my opinion, the absolute by far best chance for an albatross in the qualifying round. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Master Division with the qualifying round win here in the Fall Major Tournament, or for the Fall Major Tournament in Golf Clash the game. Make sure to get Ultimate Tournament guides for Master. They're by far the best guides there is out there. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Thank you so much for watching and good luck in your Golf Clash game.